Tough to aim it from behind.
Yeah, sit on this side.
We're on live?
We are live on the screen.
All right, well, is this Mr. Indiana? I guess it's not. Mr. James, how are you, James? Doing good? All right, well, our chair's not here, but I'm here, me and Nate, James. So I guess the two of us will be reading over the contracts, all right? I'd like to call this meeting to order. Clark? For the roll call.
Okay, Mr. Stevens?
Aye.
Mr. Hinoba?
Aye.
We have a quorum?
Oh, that's good. All right, approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, that passes. Approval of the consent agenda. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all right, ayes have it. Approval of the minutes from September 28th, 2022. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, ayes have it. Items pulled from the consent agenda, and report on contracts. Do we need a motion for that? Oh, no. All right.
Unless you want to do, there's nothing in the consent agenda.
All right, bridges, access, success. I believe we have Miss Karina Pinto in the house. Would you like to report on this contract?
Sure. So my name is Karina Pinto. I am the intern supervisor of multilingual learners, supports and services. So I am presenting to you the Bridges to Academic Success program for the amount of, it will be a $7,500 for the current academic year. This contract will serve our SIFE students, the students with interrupted formal education, and it will be specifically a pilot year for a cohort of 125 students, high school students. Most of them are overage, undercredited. So as we know, our SIFE students come with gaps besides having to overcome a language barrier, learning how to read, write at the same time they're learning a language, plus the trauma that many of them have experienced in the immigration journey. So we feel this will be an appropriate support in addition to the current curriculum that we have in place, but they definitely need something additional in order to support their needs.
Absolutely. Quick question, what is the success rate of this program?
So the reason why we like this program is because they did a study with a cohort that is comparable to our sample. So it's about 200 students, and 95% of them had a growth of at least one proficiency level in the language acquisition in 1 year. And then 36% of them, 35.5 of them, had 3 to 5 levels of growth in 1 year.
Any questions?
No, I just
Vinny, do you want to share how they implement it in New York? And that's kind of where we got it from.
This is a model of New York. So this is where we got it from. In fact, they are starting this like a new program, so they are very selective as to who they contract with. And we had to, really like look into it. But what they have implemented in New York has been like really successful. For us to see growth in students that have 2 to 7 years of gaps in their education, for them to experience 1 level of growth minimum, and then the 3 to 5 levels in 1 year, that was really important, and that was kind of the decision maker for this shift.
Absolutely. When we say on here 5 New York State schools, is that saying like public schools?
Public schools.
Okay. So how many students?
Right now we have capacity of 125. We are full, so we have 125 students. If we probably need more seats, but this is what we have right now.
Absolutely.
Be a very targeted group that will be implementing this particular curriculum, which would be coming out of the program that we have over at Central. That's part of our newcomer program that's run by our director Soledad. So it'll be very targeted to them.
Also, this curriculum comes with coaching and PD. So it's not just access to the platform and the lesson plans, but it also comes with continuous coaching for the professionals that will be delivering the curriculum and ongoing professional development for implementation.
Any other questions? So, unfortunately, I will not be approving it. No, I'm playing. I'm just playing. It's sort of like a humbling moment here because I have 2 of my former principals reporting to me on a contract, which is so humbling. Miss Onye, Dr. Onye, and Miss Karina Pinto. So truly excited about this program rolling. And can I get a motion to approve this contract?
Motion.
All right, and I'm going to second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the contract done passed. Nice
Thank
to
you.
see both of you.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna go into the next contract, which is, sorry, please bear with me. All right. All right, that's how you spell Muhammad? Is there different ways how to spell that? Dr. Muhammad, the Dr. Muhammad contract? Is there different ways to spell that? I think so.
Sometimes it's with an O,
Okay,
but hers is spelled this way.
okay.
Yeah.
We're getting into that contract. I believe, Dr. Onya is gonna report on that.
Absolutely. So I have 3 contracts this evening before you. The first one is for professional development, which will be facilitated by Dr. Goldie Muhammad of Hill Pedagogies. She is a really internationally renowned author, facilitator, educator, specifically focused on culturally, historically responsive teaching. And so she will be coming to us twice this year. She'll be convening in November, coming back again in May. And the goal, as you know, the Office of Equity and Belonging has been paused for quite a while. There are quite a few grants that were paused at the same time for over a year while we were waiting for a new leader, which is now myself. So what I wanted to do this year is make sure that we begin to create an awareness around culture responsive teaching, since we're committed to that. If you look at the tab, it comes up over and over again, as well as equity. And though I can't mandate some of this professional development this year, I want to start whetting people's appetites for what it means to be culture responsive. We did some work with teachers in the summer and also with principals as well. This is an opportunity for up to 200 teachers. It's a virtual keynote. There will be some deliverables in terms of opportunities for teachers to actually take the tools that they are going to receive from Dr. Muhammad and move further. So what I'd like to do is open it up to about 200 teachers first, and then open it up to the community.
Mhm.
It's a big deal having this person come. And so I've kind of talked with the chief of equity for the city, Silas,
Mhm.
and he's very interested as well. So once it's approved, what we'd like to do is start getting the word out there and do some advertisement to first of all, get teachers in, and then also invite community parents to also come in and listen to what she has to say. I think a lot of her focus is around history, cultural history of Black and Brown students. It delves upon a lot of anti-racist pedagogy as well, but in a way that's very academic and very extremely research-based. I think it'll be a nice opportunity. I'm going to be looking for a cohort of teachers who want to actually commit to journaling how they use the tools and how they're actually creating culture responsive lessons, and offer them a stipend to continue to journal all the way through. So it won't be for everyone, it'll just be for a few teachers who are interested in doing that, but it will be open initially to 200 teachers. And I'm hoping to get, my goal is to get 200 teachers to sign
Okay.
and then get community.
Yeah, any questions?
I think it's gonna help our teacher culture, teachers. But I have a question. When you say this will be open to the parents and the community, how is that gonna happen? Are you guys gonna create like a community advisory board? How is it?
Down the road we will, but what the plan is it's a virtual session. So we'll have the link, we're gonna use the FACE office, we're gonna use Kinvo and really get the word out to parents. I'm gonna work with Silas to get some advertising out to the community and some of my other contacts, AAAG, just really get it out there and have people sign up that way as well. But teachers are gonna sign up in front line because we're gonna actually pay the teachers who actually show up. It's after hours, 3:45 to I believe 4:45, and it's gonna happen. She will come twice.
Now, is this only geared towards teachers, or do we have any programs that's going to geared towards administrators as well?
Absolutely, I'll get to that in one of my later contracts is actually focused on administrators. However, while my focus is on teachers, this will be open to anyone that wants to attend. So
Okay.
and I would welcome administrators, central office folks, etc. It'll be virtual again, so and
Absolutely.
it'll be open to probably capacity is about 500 people.
And if we was to approve this contract today, it goes before the board a little bit later on this month. When are we planning on bringing Dr. Muhammad in?
November 30th.
November 30th. Got it. There we go. Time frame, timeline, that's what we're talking about. Any motions to approve this contract?
Motion.
All right, I second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. And move on to the next contract, Dr. Mark Goodwin. Ms. Onier, Dr.
Sure.
Onier will report on this as well.
So Dr. Mark Gooden, he's the author, one of the authors of the 5 practices of equity-focused leadership. And he spends a lot of time training principals all over the country around equity-focused leadership, specifically looking at how Black and Brown students are achieving in classrooms and providing skills and tools to principals to be able to effectively work with students and teachers. He does also a lot of anti-racist work specifically focused on administrators. And we're excited to bring him to do 2 morning sessions, one in the fall and one in the late spring, to provide that training for our principals. Each of the principals have been provided with his text, which is called the 5 Practices of Equity-Focused Leadership.
Mhm.
They'll be looking at chapters 1 through 3 prior to his arrival on November 3rd. And he's going to be with them in the morning from 8:30 to 11:30. Then he'll return. He's also going to give them an assessment. There's called an IDI assessment, and it really kind of helps school leaders gauge where they are around this idea of culture responsive education, where they are around anti-racist training, where they are around pedagogy and equity for their schools. And so all of the administrators will be able to take that assessment. And then at the end of the year, he'll come back and they'll be able to look at where they are and compare. They'll take the test again and compare where the growth has been. And also he'll close out the year with them as well on the final chapters of the text. The text is pretty short, pretty thin book. It's not very heavy reading, but it's pretty practical because it gives really solid strategies for principals. And if you'd like a copy, by the way, I've got a couple of extra and I can give you a copy.
Of a book?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I would love to cancel it.
Oh, excellent. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And to clear up, I see it here, just to clear it up, make it clear.
Sure.
Principals just as well as central office leaders. will be-
Absolutely. So I'm
okay.
hoping that that not only will principals be there, but as many central office leaders as possible can be there as well.
Absolutely. Anything else, Mr. Agent? All right. Sorry. All right, and this is, so just to clarify, 2 5-day sessions,
Nope, 2 3-hour sessions
3-hour sessions?
plus the assessment. He gave us a discount on the assessment, $20 a person, up to 100 people.
Okay, and then that's gonna be for 5 days.
Nope, it's for 2. Where do you see 5?
Does that say 0.5?
Did I-
2.5.
2.5, 2
There we
half
go.
days. Yes,
Okay.
2 half days in the morning.
It was kind of weird. Spelled out 2 and then 0.5. I was like, oh, okay. 2 days for 5 days. I couldn't get it for some reason. All right, that paying for the travel. All right. I think we can approve this. You think we can approve this, Mr. Hannibal? All right. Do I have any motions?
Motion.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. We're gonna move on to the next contract. Next contract is the Mr. William Winfield. I'm a big fan of him. But let's see what this contract has to offer.
All right. Well, I'm glad that you're a big fan. That helps. That's helpful. So actually, Mr. Winfield was referred to me by one of our administrators, Renee Walker. And Mr. Winfield has done a series of sessions for youth in many of our high schools in the past. I had not had the good fortune of meeting him or seeing his presentations, but what I did was I went on his website and I also met with him by phone to just get a feel of what he does. He had great endorsements from not people from Illinois, but people from here, which is what was really impressive for me. People that I admire, like Miss Winfield, who was a former principal at EQ, was not an easy sell. And she gave a glowing endorsement. And there were quite a few other students and adults as well. So we met and I explained to him what I want to have. So we're going to have a Respect Student Equity Leadership Conference. And this will be specifically for the student leaders in every middle and high school. 2 to 3 students in every middle and high school will convene, hopefully at the Marriott. That's what we're working on right now, for a full day of leadership conference. to gain some skills, inspiration, empowerment. He's going to start off with a keynote. We'll do some table work. And the goal at the end of the session is for students to identify 1 to 2 key equity issues that they see in their schools, and then to develop a very light, nothing heavy plan on how they're going to work back at their schools with their administrators, with their peers, with their teachers to address those issues. Then we'll meet back again in February. We'll debrief. We'll hear from each of the schools to hear what they've been doing thus far, help them problem solve with any challenges or barriers, make some adjustments. They'll go back to their schools and do some more work at the school level, and we'll convene finally in May. So this contract is just for this November 16th convening because I want to see how it goes. If everything works out well, then he may be the person we ask to come back for the second and third final sessions.
Okay, and when is this again?
November 16th.
Okay. Oh, we're getting these things as soon as possible. That's what I like. And then the $6,500 will cover the hotel. What else would it cover?
$6,500 is his fee. His
Okay.
flat fee for the facilitation for the full day. He's going to do full day facilitation. All his materials. He's evidently going to bring a team of folks as well because we're mixing middle and high school, but at some point we're going to split the group and have some conversations with them separately. It's a little bit different because we're including middle school, but my experience recently in middle school is that there are a lot of young people that have a lot to say about their education and their community, and so we wanted to include them as well so that by the time they get to high school, they'll be used to community organizing and having those kinds of presentations and conversations.
Okay, and he's bringing 3 people?
I'm not sure how many he's bringing. He's bringing a team of people.
A team of people,
Yes.
okay,
And himself, and he's going to bring the materials. He's going to do the facilitation.
okay. And really quick,
Sure.
Mr. Mahingable, so he's bringing his team of people. So we're not gonna cover the cost of the team of people he's bringing. That's gonna probably be on him.
That's on him.
Got it.
That's
Okay,
his-
because he's most likely probably gonna spread this
Yeah,
out. So
exactly.
that's the only thing I want to make
Right.
sure.
So that's
Go
his fee.
I heard you say you're gonna select student leaders. What's that process gonna be like?
So I'm not selecting. What I've asked principals to do, and I've continued to ask them to do, and I will be following up with them. I've actually created a registration form. It's a Google Doc. Every school is identified, and I'm having them put the students' names and their grades in terms of who'll be attending. So each school needs to have a student leadership group. It could be a student council, or it can be a principal advisory. And from those groups at each school, the students will select, the principal will select, somebody's gonna make the selection. I'm gonna leave that to the schools. All I know is I need 2 to 3 students from each middle and high school to come.
And then we give them a deadline for.
I sure did. The deadline is November 5th,
Got it. And then this is gonna be the 16th.
and this is gonna be the 16th. And I made that deadline that way because these are young people. I wanna make sure they have transportation, permission slips. So I wanna give a little bit of a buffer, and also we're gonna be hopefully doing this at a hotel. I wanna be able to give close to an accurate count of how many people will be there. I also am asking schools to have one adult come as well, hopefully a school culture coordinator or the school community liaison, or maybe an assistant principal or a PRN to also be part of that conversation. So there'll be maybe between 20 to 25 adults there.
Got it. And something else I was gonna say. Is there a deadline for the students to have, the schools to have sort of their council or principal advisory group? Is there a deadline for them to have that in place as well?
I highly suggest at the end of September.
Or?
And so I've already had some correspondence with the assistant superintendents for each of the grade levels to just remind the principals that they need to do that. It's also, if you're looking at the district newsletter and the principal's newsletter, pretty much almost every single week or every 2 weeks, has been something in there about that as well.
Okay. Anything else? I would like to add. I would just throw out there, if you can, Dr. Onyé, sort of just inform the deputy superintendents to make sure that when they're doing sort of like the selection process, that it's sort of equitable.
Yes,
That's the only thing, so we give all students
a chance.
a chance, but sort of like the opportunity as well. Definitely if they're interested in it. So just making sure that that's an equitable process. I would love for you to just spread that word and get that out there to
Absolutely.
deputy superintendents.
I will do that.
Yes. Do we have a motion to approve this contract?
Motion.
All right, second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, the ayes have it. That passes, and motion to adjourn. Yes, that's it.
Wow. Your motion.
All right, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, the ayes have it. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's what last week we were
Yeah,
there for
right.
like over an hour.
Tired from last week.
I know that's good, and I got like a
And
flat,
the
so I need to
street,
run
we
out
have
and go get that situated, so
Slowly but fastly.
slowly.
Mr. Kushner, do you-
Right.
Guys, hold on, I can give you
I
the
should.
text.
Do you want me to
I
shut
should,
the
but
stream?
there's one around the corner, so hopefully my car will make it go.
Yeah, if you just-
Yeah, check it out.
Yes. Yes, nice to see you.
I see you.
Karina,